Hi, I'm Christine McKay, and welcome to My Craft Studio. Today we have Amy Chappel with us, and we are going to talk a little bit about fabric, which I am going to be honest, scares me to death. It scares me.
You're not alone.
And I'll tell you one of the things that scares me, and then you tell me what your response would be to someone that has that concern. There's no room for error.
That's not true. This is your seam ripper, and it is your best friend. And don't be afraid of it, because there's very few things that can't be undone. And scissors can't be undone.
And let me ask you, does this tool have dust on it in your house?
Oh, no.
So even the most expert person still...
Every project just about ends up having something ripped out at some point. So
tell me a little bit about, it seems like, in the craft industry and, all of the women, the amazing talented women we have here, we're all inspired, we're all, have that artistic nature. But why is it that you think that for some of us, we kind of lean toward paper, some of us, it's furniture. Why do you think for you that your medium has been fabric?
I love the tactile nature of it. And the other part for me has been the new, all the new quilting fabrics that have come out, and the fabrics are so vibrant and there's so many different patterns that it just kind of sucked me in, and I haven't been able to get away.
It's funny that you mentioned fabric, and I want to just talk about this right here. I don't sew, I want to learn. It's these types of products I see at the store, I just want to buy because it's so cute.
Yeah, that's been sitting on my shelf for a year because it's just pretty.
Okay, so if I bought this, it's cute and it's going to sit there, but I'm not very smart. What is it for? Is there a reason it's cut like that?
It is, and this project, in fact, is exactly what you would use something like that for. This is called, it depends on the manufacturer. For Moda, it's called a jelly roll, it's a roly-poly, but they're 2.5-inch wide strips of fabric. And typically, when you buy a set like this, it's every color in the particular line of fabric. So if you buy something like this, it's simple because it all goes together. They all coordinate all the lines. So you could make
for you paper crafters out there, this is kind of like your 6x6 pad.
Perfect.
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Any kind. It's a coordinating line. It all goes together.
And you get a little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
So explain to me, and I think that you're going to show me. Obviously, that must be a common size, I'm guessing, in sewing. So show me some of the things that you can make with the jelly rolls.
Well, these you can use in quilts and sewing together it saves one of your cuts for you, basically, if you have to cut something down to that size. And in this case, in this pillow, what we're going to do is take the strips that are already 2.5 inches wide, and we're going to fold them in half and press them like that, and that is going to create our pleats along here.
Very
so
cute.
It just
I'm guessing, so if you're folding it like that, then then you just sew the rough edge. You'd sew the rough edge.
And you don't even have to fold it under, because especially on ones like this, it comes with, it's called pinked, where it's that little zigzag edge on it. And it means the fabric's not going to fray, it's not going to shred or fall apart, so you don't even have to do anything to the edge.
I always like that look, because I think it makes it look a little more frilly,
I
guess.
Yeah, but you don't have to, it means you don't have to finish the edges or anything. If you peek under here, you can see that they're not finished, they're just raw, and that part makes this pillow come together really fast and really easy.
Show us really quickly what you've done here.
Okay, this is going to make a 16 by 16 inch pillow. Okay. So what I've done is I've marked the lines on here. This is going to be your top seam up here, and it starts at 1/4 inch, and then you're going to mark every 3/4 of an inch all the way till the end, and you're going to leave about 1 3/4 inches at the other end, and that will allow for your seam allowances when you go to sew the back on the back.
And you've just marked it with a pencil?
I've used a pen here so it shows up a little better, but you could use just a regular pencil, or you could use
because you're going to sew over it, it's fine.
You're not going to see it, and so it really doesn't matter what you use to mark it with.
And so this is basically your base, and then you'll just kind of, like we talked about, just fold those strips.
Right. So when you buy the jelly roll like this, these come width to width, so it's 45 inches across. So you're going to take those and cut them in half lengthwise.
Oh, perfect.
So you'll end up with 22
measurements.
You could easily get 2 to 3 pillows out of this one jelly roll. So once you take your strips and they're pressed in half, you're going to start at the bottom where your biggest margin is right here, and you're going to lay it down. Now you'll see that I have more here than what I need for the length of this. So what I thought would be fun, and where this pillow came from, is we're going to gather up and just make little pleats in here. And you just make them random. They're going to be different depths, different widths, and until you've used up all the rest of that
So
length on
cute.
here.
So let me ask you, just so that I'm making sure, are we attaching this to the very top then?
No, what we're going to do is you're going to line your raw edge on here up with your pencil lines on here.
Perfect.
So you're going to line it up. And if you are not very comfortable sewing, then you can take your pins and you can pin in your little pleats on here as you go until you've used up all of your fabric.
Oh, I get it.
And
This
that
is
way,
perfect.
if you need to adjust where your pleats are, or you don't really like the look of it, but you're going to have so many rows on here, you'll see that they're just kind of staggered. And then once you have it all pinned down, you're just going to run it through your sewing machine. Now, the one tip I have for this is do all of your folds the same direction on this row.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then when you run it through your sewing machine, make it so that they're pointing towards you.
Oh, perfect.
And
so
that
it's
way
not
you're
going
not
to push
lifting
it the other way.
And that way you're not lifting. And then when I go to sew the next row down, I'll flip it this way, and then I'll have my pleats go the opposite way. And it just adds a little bit more texture to it.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I did home ec. I did all that. My mom hours tried to teach me. I think I just learned more in this last few minutes than I've ever learned. Because for me, this is practical. I'm not going to go home and make myself a dress. And so for me, sewing, I haven't really found a need. But stuff like this, I mean, I'm sure that if you were to go buy these at a high-end boutique, you're talking about $50.
Easy, yeah.
And with this, I'm sure that this is a project you could do under 20?
Well, you could get a jelly roll like this is usually between 20 and 30, but like I said, you could get 2 or 3 pillows out of it. So you could easily get one pillow for about 20, and that includes the pillow form and everything. So, and then it lets you customize it for your home, for your decor, for whatever color. And like I said, there's so many cute lines of fabric out right now that it's, you can indulge a little bit without having to buy yards and yards of fabric
and a fun thing for our paper crafters is that a lot of the scrapbooking companies are now starting to produce fabric. So all of the same prints that we're kind of already used to coordinating together, you can now take it from your paper to a pillow. Right.
In fact, this, so this is the finished pillow front of what these fabrics, and this is actually the Capri collection from Adorn It. So they actually have paper that is the exact same line and all the same colors and everything. So you can have a whole room that all goes together from your paper stuff to your...
This is just yummy. I love that.
Yeah, isn't that a fun color combination?
Okay, so for our viewers that maybe want to learn a little bit more, maybe want some tutorials, where can they find you or ask you questions?
My blog is Amerooney Designs. It's Amerooney. That was my grandma's nickname for me. It was Amerooney Bambooney. So it's amerooneydesigns.blogspot.com. And I also have a Facebook page, and you can ask me any questions. I have a lot of tutorials and kind of getting into that basic tutorials. I don't want people to be afraid of their sewing machine. I mean, you can stick your finger through the needle, so just keep your hands a little bit back. But other than that, it's not going to bite you. It's not going to hurt you.
Mistakes can be corrected.
They can be corrected. That's what seam rippers are for. Fabric is very forgiving, and you won't even see the holes. It doesn't matter how many times you've sewn through it unless you're using the laminated cotton.
Love it. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by. So one thing I'm going to do before you go is we play a little game here called Rapid Fire.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions, and you have to give me just the quickest response that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Amy, you have 5 children.
Yes.
Where is your favorite hiding place in the house?
We just finished my craft room in the basement, and it has a lock on the door.
Yes! Hallelujah.
And my 10-year-old daughter made a little sign that hangs on the door, and it says Mom's Crafting. And so I put that on the outside of the door and just shut it, and that's my space.
That's the best. I love that. Okay, what is your biggest craft fail?
There's so many that I try really hard to think things through so that I don't waste a lot of money because I don't have a lot, but there's quite a few projects that end up just going in the garbage because lots of fabric, lots of that just kind of... So I have some junk fabric that I buy at yard sales and stuff that I practice on so that when things just go horribly awry, they can just end up in the trash. And
exactly.
I don't feel too bad.
And I have a feeling that your craft fails would be my successes. I'm
No.
guessing. Okay, last question. What is your guilty pleasure?
Swedish fish.
Oh, those are the best. The long ones or the baby ones?
The little ones and all the colors. And I have a
yeah.
jar of them in my craft room, and I hide it and put it up high so the kids can't
keep
get
the
it,
door locked.
And keep the door locked so that it's just my little treat for when I'm in there crafting.
Amy, thank you so much for stopping by. These are absolutely beautiful. And go check her out. Check out her blog. Go to her Facebook page. And I think think I might. I'm not going to commit. I think I actually might try this.
You should. Straight lines.
I'm going to try it.
You can do it.
I'll post it on my craft fail page later, but I'm going to. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and join us next time for My Craft Studio.